everyone. I'm Javi Mayrata. I'm here in Byron Bay in the northern coast of New South Wales, Australia. I am originally from Mallorca. For the ones that don't know, is one of the Balearic Islands in Spain in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. And I've been living here in this beautiful part of the world for the last 80 years. I have my own business based on Spanish omelets or tortillas. It's called Hambruna Spanish omelets, and I'm a member of Eat Spanish, and I'll be cooking one of those Spanish omelets or tortilla for you today, but I'll be doing it a bit different. I'll be introducing one and the main character of the Balearic Islands. It is sobrasada, so I'll be cooking a Spanish tortilla and I'll be putting some sobrasada in it for you. And of course I'll be serving it with some pan boli, which is another beautiful ingredient, which is pan tumacat also in Catalonia. Watch this. For quantities, a kilo roughly of potatoes. They're usually around 5 to 8 potatoes, depends how big they are. I'll be putting only one onion, and then I'll be using around 8 to 10 eggs with it. All right, of course, I'll be adding some sea salt. It is probably not the most important, but it is crucial to use the right seasoning. Again, it is a very, very simple dish. If we don't add the right seasoning, probably it won't taste as much. So seasoning is really important. And here I have some sunflower oil. There we have the lovely sobrasada, a very traditional ingredient from the Balearic Islands, especially Mallorca, Ibiza and Menorca. And here we have all the ingredients to make a great pan boli or pan tumacat that is known in the Balearic Islands and also Catalonia. It's basically some bread. I've got here some baguette or some ciabatta that I'm going to be cutting, and I'm going to put over it a lovely tomato mixed with extra virgin olive oil, sea salt, and optional we can add some garlic. Again, that's optional. I personally think that garlic is a bit overpowering, but that's more Catalan, but I love it that way too. All right, let's start. Okay, so here we are peeling the potatoes. It is important to peel them. So a lot of people think that it's okay to leave the skins on, but I wouldn't recommend it for this dish in particular. So here we are, and again, they can be irregular cuts, it doesn't matter, so we will go whatever. They can be about this thick, about whatever, it's not a big deal. So you'll see when you chop these potatoes, they stick. The consistency, not the consistency, but the potato, the content, the water content that they have, it makes it sticky to your knife. That's normal. Just keep chopping like that, slice them, not that one. Here we go, and yes. All right, so we'll slice them all. So here we are, we've got a pan. This one is like a deep pan, but we can use any fry pan that you have at home. We'll be using it for shallow fry. It's not quite deep fry, but we'll put quite a bit of oil. So in this case, I've chosen sunflower oil. So we'll put some there, and we'll have the oil starting to warm up at the background. Okay, so now that the oil is starting to warm up, I'm gonna come with the potatoes, put the potatoes in it. So we have all the potatoes here. Slowly, we're gonna be putting them in the oil. So it's not too hot, that's what we want. We don't want it sort of frying strong. We want to avoid that to get a nice caramelized, sort of confit potatoes. So we have, remember guys, we have the potato. It's been there only for the 1 minute, and we're going to put the onion straight away. So you can put more onion if you want. In my opinion, one onion is more than enough. We don't want the onion to overtake the flavor of the potato. Okay, so now that we have the onion ready, just one onion, we'll add it to the frying, so it's frying there slowly. It's bubbling quite high, so the fire will have to be sort of a little bit slower, but in this kitchen unfortunately it is like this, but anyway it will taste delicious. So we mix the onion with the potato all together, and now it's going to be here for, let's say, another 30 to 40 minutes. So we want it to be brown, completely soft in the center, and when we start seeing the onion translucent, so we're going to let it sit here for a little bit while we're going to crack and get the eggs ready. Right, so we have the potato and onion in the background slowly frying, starting to take a bit of color, but it needs more time. So in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll start cracking the eggs. No secret on this, just cracks the eggs as you normally will do, but I'll be using between 8 and 10 for that 1 kilo of potatoes that I've used. So here we go, cracking all of them. So we've got what we have now, we've got those 6, 7, 8 here. Let's put those 8 for now. So we'll just whisk them as you will normally do. What I'll do now, while we have the eggs here, the important bit, salt. Amount of salt I'll be using, you can taste it, but I'll be using, I will say, between 6 to 8 grams of salt. So it might sound like a lot, but it is raw potato and egg. Both, none of them have been seasoned, so we want to be generous and put, if you want to count it in pinches, I would say 3 to 4 generous pinches of salt. All right, so this is ready. Few people think that a little trick is to add a dash of milk. Possible and totally acceptable. In my recipe, I don't add any milk. Just I don't want to add any dairy, or the reason to add some milk is to give a bit of fluffiness to the egg, but I don't think it does need it. So we're going to wait for the potato to be ready, and we're going to be throwing it here in the egg. Okay, so here we are with the potato and onion. It's been slowly frying for about 15-20 minutes now. So you can see that it is taking a bit of color, so that golden color is coming up. One of the secrets of a good tortilla is to be patient and wait for that lovely potato to slowly fry together with the onion. The longer you wait and the slower it is, the tastier it will be. So be patient. That's it, that's ready. So with the strainer, and I'm gonna need help from whatever spoon you have. So one of these spoons, don't worry about, it is hot, don't worry about the oil excess, we're gonna drain it, but we're not looking for it to be completely drained. So don't be afraid of putting some oil in there. We're gonna be transferring the potato and onion mix to a colander or strainer, whatever you have at home. You can also put it straight away into the egg mix, but that will mean a lot of oil going into it, and probably that's something that I will recommend to avoid. We have the potato, it's been draining. We don't need to wait long time. A bit of oil, it'll be flavor, that's not a problem at all. So I'm just going to throw the potato into the egg mix. Don't be afraid, it is all broken, not a big deal. So we put everything in there, not a problem. We'll get rid of this. Okay, so now is when the magic happens. It is the mixture of the egg and the potato. You can help yourself with the whisk. That's not a big deal. The potato is already broken. What we want to happen is the potato marrying together with the egg. So as we can see, this is what's happening. And another little trick, and I think I'm revealing too many tricks here today, but anyway, I'm going to tell you. The little trick is to let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. If you let it rest, again, the potato and the egg will marry each other. Okay, so we've waited now for few minutes and we can see a nice consistency. It's almost mushy. We don't want to break it down too much, but we can see that the egg and the potatoes become one. That's what we want. If we see the potato and the egg splits, that's good. That's not a big deal, but in my recipe and my little trick is for those two become one. Here we go. What we've done here, we've cut small pieces of the sobrasada already. So that's gonna go into the mix. Now, what I will do normally is I would put that sobrasada into the mix it together for our tortilla, but I'll do something different today. I'll show you now. I'll want a layer of tortilla. I'll put the sobrasada in the middle like a sandwich filling, and then I'll cover it with some more tortilla, so it'll be like a tortilla sobrasada tortilla sandwich. All right, here we go. I'm gonna carry on. The pan is reached enough heat now. So what I'll do again, in an ideal world, we'll be throwing all the mix, but what I'll do today is I'm gonna throw half of it only because I want to add my sandwich filling here, which is the sobrasada. Anyway, let's go. Let's do half of it, all right? So we're gonna throw it everywhere here. Okay, that's pretty much enough. We're gonna make it even. We're gonna even everywhere. And now I don't want that. What I'll do is I'll put it aside for now, and I'm gonna take time to put my sobrasada. So I'll put a nice layer of sobrasada here. So everyone that will be eating the tortilla today will get at least a nice big chunk. Also, a good thing about the sobrasada and something to mention is that once this is, it's got quite a nice oily and fat content. So once it reaches heat, it will lose all that oil and fatty in a good way, fattiness. So we're gonna put tortilla here, sobrasada everywhere. Probably that's enough. We don't want that to overcook. So we'll go back here, and what I'll do now is I'll be covering it with the rest of the mix. Okay, so there, let's make sure it's enough to cover everywhere. We got it. Okay, nice. All right, we come back here. We make it nice and easy. Okay. Here we go. Probably a good thing a good little trick here is to see around the edges. We'll start seeing that the egg starts cooking. When that happens is when we're gonna flip it. That's the big moment for the tortilla. You are covering it with your plate, and here we go. Here is the safe, so you cover it, and you make sure you can grab the plate with the pan. So you grab it like this, making sure it's not sticking to the sides, flip it, and then you got a flat surface to land. So that's completely safe here. We got it there, and then here we go. That's nice color, nice and color. And then we come back to fire here, and then we put another nice little dash of oil, and then here is when we slide it back in. All right, so it's getting nice temperature in the pan, and then slowly, no rush for this step. We're just gonna slowly help ourselves with a spatula or whatever you have at home and slide it, making sure the edges here and here go back in. Here we go, and then we have it there, and I think we are in. All right, so same for this side. We are going to leave it for another minute or two until it's cooked, and again the sobrasada in the middle will start sort of getting softer and softer with that temperature. So look, that looks nice, and it's got nice color there. All right, another 2 minutes there. Our last step is the last flip. So here we go. We are going to have it. And that's our last result here, guys. This is our tortilla. You can see the little bits of sobrasada there. Okay, so I think it's ready for plating. Here we go. We're gonna slide it on our final board. Here we go, nice and juicy. So now we have the tortilla ready. And what I'll do, I'll put the nice little garnish and touch decoration. This is to remember our good friend in Spain, Carlos Arguiñano. Anything with parsley, anything without it wouldn't be a dish. So that's a nice garnish there, perejil. I think it's time now for the pan con tomate, or pan tumaca, pan boli. That's how we call it in the islands, in Mallorca where I'm from. Remember, this is the dish from Mallorca, the whole recipe, tortilla with sobrasada. So let's do it the way we do pan boli. For the tomatoes, nice and ripe, it is quite essential. We'll grab one of the tomatoes here, nice and ripe. I won't be putting any garlic today. I think it's quite overpowering in flavor. I want to enjoy that nice tomato olive oil. Remember, less is more in the Spanish cuisine. So what I'll do is I'll cut one tomato in half, whichever way you prefer. Here we go. And then I'll be grating both halves into a nice bowl. Depending on how many people you'll be cooking it, in this case not cooking it but preparing it for, you can go with 2, 3, 4 tomatoes. I would say a good amount is maybe half to 1 tomato per person. Depending on how many pieces of toast you want to have. Some people will be surprised that something so tasty is just fresh tomato, grated, a nice drop of olive oil. So maybe like a soup spoon, teaspoon is to taste, but it has to have a good amount of olive oil, okay? So let's be generous on that. Okay, and then a good amount of salt is also very important. Okay, I'll be cutting that ciabatta that we're gonna make nice toast out of it. Half and half, whatever bread you have at home. Again, whatever bread, it will go really nice with the tortilla. And the only thing we need to do now is just apply that nice tomato mix on top of the bread. Easy as that. Some of you will be thinking, but that's really way too simple. Well, way to try. So we are all done. We have tortilla on one side and on the other side pan con tomate that it will go with it. So nice to make a nice montadito or pincho, which is basically slice of the tortilla on top, on the side, whatever. We can add something else that you have at home. We have some nice aioli sauce to go with it today. So now I'm going to cut a slice and I'm going to serve it for you. I hope you guys enjoy cooking this dish at home. Don't forget to mention us or tag us anywhere, so we can't wait to see your results. I hope you enjoyed it. Buen provecho.